This is the Mind of the Meanie. Here are your hosts, the Blue Meanie and Adam Barnard.
Peace, world, and welcome everybody to the Mind of the Meanie, your weekly peek into the world, according to former WWE superstar, ECW original, and co-star of the London Film Critics Best Picture winner, The Wrestler. I'm never letting that go, man. The Blue Meanie. We'll cover wrestling, music, movies, sports, and lots of useless knowledge, all contained in the Mind of the Meanie. I'm your tour guide, Adam Barnard, and he is the Blue Meanie. Meanie! What's on your mind?
Oh, man. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Sun's out. Weather's nice. Got a fresh cut from my buddies at Bud's Barbershop. And I'm here on a beautiful Sunday morning as we record this, talking to you and our fine folks in the Pod Squad. So couldn't get any better.
It is gorgeous outside today. I have the window open right here. I have one because sometimes if I have both open, then like the fucking sound gets all crazy up here. But it is gorgeous outside, and I cannot wait to get outside with the Barnard Home for Wayward and Troubled Youth. But Pod Squad's popping already this morning. Good morning, everyone. The professor is here, Mass Sanity. Great to see you at AEW Double or Nothing last weekend. Was phenomenal to get a chance to catch up with you for a few minutes.
Our calls were held directly afterwards. So,
yeah, Dynamite was great. We're going to talk about that. We're going to dive into that a little bit too. And Matt from Dover's here. Hola, senor, and say mucho gracias, senor. Good to see you. Jesse Brown is here. Hey, good morning, everyone. Great to see you. And Machete is here. Morning, lovelies, and a pleasant Baba Booey to you. Great to see you.
And a Baba Booey to you.
And a Baba Booey. But Meanie, I want to start off the top here. I heard through a source, a credible source, not the Observer, but a credible source, that you found something while you were cleaning Casa DeMeanie. Is that correct?
Yes. Back in the day, I helped run a promotion called 3PW Propane Pro Wrestling, and named it and all that good stuff. I was always a fan. There's a band called Propane. That's a cool name. Like, and everybody's like, oh, propane, like the gas. I'm like, whatever. But like propane as in favor of pain, like pro con and all that stuff. So we ran shows for 4 years, and for whatever reason, our second to last event, whatever, I don't know what happened, but I guess we never released the footage of it. And over the course of the week, people are like, man, did this 3PW show ever come out? The show is called Mayhem. Happened in May of 2005, and I was like, you know what? I think I have that. And I just started looking around in my bins and I have milk crates full of CDs and stuff like that and CD cases. And I was like, lo and behold, I found it. And I was like, oh my God, this is it. So I found a copy of Mayhem. I looked at it. I took a photo of the front and back and replied online. I was like, look what I found. And and the fans, I'm not saying 3PW was the biggest promotion in the world or whatever, but it, just a lot of, there's a section of people who hold 3PW, close to their heart, when ECW died, tried to fill a hole in the Philadelphia independent, well, not the ECW was an independent scene, but the Philadelphia wrestling scene. And little did we know that, Ring of Honor and CZW would start running Philly too, which is a whole other story. But I found it and digitized it. I reached out to you. I was like, hey man, I'm not too, other than watching YouTube, I'm not too familiar with YouTube, putting up videos and stuff like that. But would you be willing to put this up on the 3PW YouTube channel? And you're like, absolutely. So yeah, I digitized it, sent it on over to you, and we put it up on the YouTube. And so far so good with the reaction, and people who had only seen the show in person, reached out and said, how many memories it brought back. And I'm glad that we were able to do it. It was like the second to last 3PW show ever. We did Mayhem, and then we did the ill-named show Resurrection as our final show. So I was like, oh man, timing, huh? But yeah, 3PW had a good run, and we had a financial investor named Rich, and his health was starting to decline. He's still with us, but he started losing his eyesight, and he wanted to focus on his health. And it's like, hey man, I enjoyed these shows and all, but I got to focus on what I got to do. And we just stopped. He pulled out of investing in the shows, and we're like, you know what? Had a good run. I'll say this: 3PW was a lot of fun to do, but there's a lot of things that caused anxiety and depression with running a show. So, like, anytime I see somebody running a successful show or promotion, I'm like, man, I don't know how they do it, because we only did Philly, and that was a fucking headache. And not that Philly's a headache, but just running a show is
just running the show. Yeah, I can imagine running a show like that it's probably, I mean, I know it's probably dumb saying it, but it's like, it's got to be way different when you're in the ring versus being, the guy running the show. I mean, it's got to be a whole extra level of stress and all kinds of other shit you're working through. And then, we got to work through the talent, make sure everything's good here. And then, just the operations and shit, like that's a lot of work.
Yeah, I never been one to want to be a boss and tell people they have to win, tell people they have to lose, and just just certain things, it never caused friction, but it was like, you have an idea and somebody doesn't want to do it, and you're like, oh well, this sucks. And then, the person who didn't want to do the thing you asked them to do goes off and does it somewhere else. And it's like, yeah, but, and it caused, friction with, 3PW. There's friction between 3PW, Ring of Honor, CZW, which some of the local news sites called it the Philly Indie War, which was fucking stupid. It's one thing if millionaires do it, like AEW and WWE have a show on the same night, but when you're small independent and you're trying to draw fans, it's not the wisest thing to do. But and we all look back on it and go, oh man, that was dumb. But yeah, found the copy of the show, put it up, had some great matches on there, but just I thought initially it was our last show, but it wasn't. But second to last, and then holy shit! It happened in May 2005. A month later was One Night Stand, and our last show was like a week after One Night Stand, and then 3PW was done, and it was just like a whole roller coaster of things between everything that happened at One Night Stand, lose a promotion, a whole bunch of other stuff that like really did a toll on me emotionally. But in the long run, I look back on those times of doing 3PW, and even though One Night Stand was a rough ordeal at the time, it pulled me out of eventually pulled me out of a dark place. There's a lot of things I had gone through between the year 2000 in 2005. I had been through a lot emotionally, and I came out 2005, going into 2006. I had refound my identity. I mean, One Night Stand sucked, but between 2000 2005, I kind of forgot who I was. I was trying to reinvent myself, and once I went back to being the Blue Meanie, um, and everything that happened when I stand, it just pulled me out of this. It made me realize who I am, and I got to go back to being who I was, and realize people didn't want a reinvented version of the Blue Meanie; they just want the Blue Meanie. And and then I go on to find Mrs. Meanie, and here we are 20 years later. Um, well, 21 years later, and man, just it's crazy to see how far things have come. We're looking through that video, and then making stills to post on social media, and it's like, look at all these fresh faces here, and just look at everything everybody's done since that that show.
I will say that there's a young man in that video. I believe his name is Sterling James Keenan. I think that guy has got a pretty solid future ahead of him. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know. Definitely not digging graves. Did you see what I did there? Did you like what I did? Did you like there was a wink? It was the whole I practiced, meaning I practiced in the fucking mirror this morning. Okay, I wanted to make sure.
Yeah. Sterling James, Talia, who went on to become Velvet Sky, Rob Echoes, who went to, who's, Robert Stone and NXT.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we had a whole crew. We had Matt Stryker at one point. Tons of guys. And it was cool to see Sam Adonis, Sterling Keenan's brother, share it and post about how he went to that show as a kid, and got to watch those shows, and Talia, aka Velvet Sky, put it over, and those shows were so much fun, even though they're so stressful.
You also had Chris Sabin and James Storm on the card. Abyss was there.
Yeah.
And Amish Roadkill. That was fun to see Roadkill in there. That was a lot of fun.
Final 3PW champion.
Wow.
I still had the 3PW belt here. But
that's cool, man.
Yeah, it's sitting over here on a shelf somewhere, but just it was nice to go down that road again. That I've been pushing 3PW out of my mind for a while, just because of all the crazy shit that happened in my life because of 3PW. There's a lot of good stuff too, but it was nice to actually acknowledge it and put it out there and be able to share that show with fans who hadn't seen it since it happened or only read about it. So it was nice to be able to put that out there.
I will tell you, if you want to go and see it now, it is live on the Mind of the Meanie YouTube page. And thank you for everyone who's commented, shared, watched, subscribed because of that. Hopefully you stick around for a lot of the fun fart jokes that we have here too. But yeah, 3PW Pro Wrestling Mayhem from May 21st, 2005 is up live now on the YouTube page. It's a great watch. Please go out of your way to take a look at it. It's a lot of fun. And hopefully if you find Resurrection, you'll have to let me know and see if we can post that one too. So
yeah, I reached out to the company who recorded that show and see if they can get me the footage.
Yeah,
and maybe we'll put that one up too as well. But
absolutely, absolutely, man. Yeah. Speaking of shows, man, I know that. Wait, there's a lot of stuff in here. I want to go back through here real fast. Let me see. Mass Entity says Propane's Foul Taste of Freedom from 1992 holds up very well. Jesse Brown says that was a fun watch. Nice to see some of the wrestlers I've only heard about on here. Yes, it was very cool. Yeah. Shackleford's here. He says, "Good morning, sir. Good morning to you, and a pleasant Papa Booey to you, my friend." Mass Entity says, "One night stand. Did anything of note happen that night?"
Yeah, there's a couple guys got together and Had a tussle.
Had a fun little reunion. Paul Heyman was there. People got yelled at. It was a whole thing. Everything was fun. No issues. Andrew Bailey agrees. He says, great to see Roadkill. I rooted for Roadkill a lot because I grew up in Lancaster, surrounded by the Amish. Yes, I am close to Lancaster down here as well. So always cool to see it.
You lived in an Amish paradise.
And Jesse Brown says, I couldn't remember Roadkill's name for a second there. And I was like, oh, the chicken choking guy.
Chickens.
Man, that was a great watch, man. Mass Sanity says, we were talking a little bit about it as we started the show here. AEW Double or Nothing is pretty much universally praised as being one of the best AEW events ever. I agree. The energy in the building that night was great. Yes, I will have to wholeheartedly agree with you. Not only was it one of the best AEW events I've ever watched, I think it was the most fun I've had at a wrestling event in any event I've ever gone to. And I'm going to a lot. And Double or Nothing was incredible. Just top to bottom. There wasn't, you know how wrestling can be sometimes. There are like letdown matches, and there's matches that aren't like, real strong, and then you have real great ones. Yeah. There wasn't a miss on this card the entire night. The entire show was phenomenal.
Awesome.
And I wanted to know if you had a chance to check it out.
No, I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. I usually catch AEW pay-per-views, on the back burner, when I get a chance to sit and watch, because those shows tend to be a little bit long. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I have to digest them in portions. But I'm sure I'll circle around and get a chance to watch it. I'm happy to hear it. It was great. And, like I said, I want all wrestling. I love all wrestling. I want all wrestling to do well. It's just, I didn't get a chance to watch it yet. So,
yeah, it was really good. I mean, like I said, the Stadium Stampede match was fun to watch. I'm trying to even think. There were so many people in that. It was the Demand. It was the Dogs. It was, God, who else was in that match? I think some of the Don Callis family was in that match. And then it was against Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega, the Hurt Syndicate, and the Young Bucks. And let me tell you something. I'll break that match apart a little bit. That shit was hilarious to watch in person. Like, ridiculously fun. For someone who's been wrestling, and I got the chance to see him over at AEW Dynamite too. And it was that was Wednesday, the Leocore Center. And I was talking to a friend of the show, Heather Riley. We were talking about Chris Jericho and how long he's been doing and wrestling. I think he's been wrestling since the late 80s, if I remember. Is that right? He's been wrestling for a long time.
At least 1991.
I was going to say, I couldn't remember if it was like 89 or in that range, but
yeah, I don't, I'm sure the professor will give us a date.
But to watch him, to watch him wrestle, and he did the lion salt in the ring too, which was like, holy shit, to be doing and moving as much as he is still doing after the career that he's had is fucking impressive, man. I got to tell you, got to like tip your hat to Jericho and keeping it moving,
Well, absolutely. Just, he's been wrestling longer than I have. And, dude, just the thought of taking a bump is like, ugh, taking bumps suck,
Yeah.
When you're young and spry and just breaking into business and you learn how to do it right. And you learn how to bump and feed. It could be a beautiful thing, but that shit catches up with you.
Yeah.
But it was, shout out to Chris, for being able to do this for so long, Yeah,
it was great. I mean, like I said, it was very well done. And then Mass Entity said here too, there was a scene where Jack Perry crashed the bus, and that bus crash was done live during the Stampede. And yeah, I mean, there was a lot of sections in there that were like, some people I think were asking like, well, was anything pre-recorded, was anything done? But apparently it was all done live while everything was happening. And Lio Rush got involved too. Well, let's just like shout out Lio Rush too for a minute. Have you seen any of the stuff that he's been doing? I know Muscle Man Malcolm's been doing a lot with him recently. And man, his shit's so fucking good, man. Like, just the pop he got in Philadelphia too was unbelievable.
Yeah. I've seen photos and I've seen some videos, but I haven't really seen like a whole match yet. But
let's see. Mass Sanity. The Professor says Chris Jericho's debut was October 2nd, 1990. So we were close. We split it in the middle there.
Yeah.
Man, but yeah, I really enjoyed the show, man. And let me see. Mass Sanity says I got to meet Malcolm at Double or Nothing. I gave my Waffle House order. He did indeed give his Waffle House order. It was you have to tell me, you have to remind me because I can't remember what it is. But yes, Malcolm was there with me and has a great vlog out too. If you haven't had a chance to check it out from the show, it's been very good. But yeah, man, I'm just trying to think there was something else I was going to bring up and I can't remember now because it's fucking Sunday and I don't remember what I was going to say to you. But life is good, man. How are you feeling?
Feeling good. Just I can't believe how fast things are going. It seemed like yesterday that, it was 6 degrees out and it seemed like yesterday I was snowed in with ice and, trying to dig myself out so I can go be a productive citizen. And here we are. It's, 63 degrees out today and, beautiful and about to be June of all, I mean, it's just like who hit the fast forward button, But yeah, I got doing good, no complaints. Just treat every day like a blessing, just any day above ground's a good day. And just happy to wake up, come here, do the show, just planning doing stuff with Mrs. Meanie. We found out the Philadelphia Eagles are going to London this year, and we're planning a trip to go over there. Whether we get tickets or not, we just want to be there. We haven't been to. We just went to England for. We just went to Manchester for the great convention called For the Love of Wrestling, but we haven't been to London in a while. So this is Meanie's in all her glory. Arranging a trip over to London, and we got that in October. We got that. Then we got the Jericho. Speaking of Jericho, we got the Jericho cruise in November. Looking forward to that. But yeah, just hopefully have a good summer. Not too hot, not too cool. Mostly sunny. Hopefully summer. Summer is my favorite time of the year. Growing up down the shore, being a beach baby. Just hoping for a nice, stress-free summer, and just looking forward to so many things. If you're in the Philly, Jersey area, I'm doing a toy show on June 13th down in Mays Landing, New Jersey. Called It's a Toy Show. It's free to attend, and my friend Justin and Penelope. I've known Justin since 8th grade. We've been great friends, and they have an amazing store down there in Mays Landing, which is, in some ways, it's almost like a museum of they have a section, where they got all these vintage toys behind glass. You go down there and see all these cool toys, but it's a great atmosphere. We're going down there June 13th. A lot of people come out. Get to see a lot of friends I haven't seen since grade school. They come out to this event, and it's especially if you have kids, bring the kids out, and it's a good time just wandering around and looking at everybody's wares, and I usually leave with 1 or 2 things I pop for, but life's been good, man. Life's been good. No complaints. I could complain, but who's going to listen?
I was just going to say that who would listen? Yeah. Got some good stuff popping off in the pod squad here. Let me go back up top here and see. The Green says, or Matt from Dover says, it's already June 1st tomorrow. Yep. I can't believe we're halfway through the year already. I feel it just time is an illusion. Time's a fucking illusion. Mass Sanity says Jericho's run in ECW was 30 years ago when I first saw him. He was great in his short run there. And then he says his Waffle House order is usually just the hash brown bowls, nothing too elaborate, which is absolutely right. You got to get some of that sexy Waffle House sauce because it's hella good.
Yeah.
Machete Von Kill says, not wrestling related, but it's Marilyn Monroe's 100th birthday tomorrow. There will be cake at my house. If you are interested, please send some our way. We are great proprietors of cake. Mass Sanity says she will be celebrated on my total social media tomorrow. Total icon.
Absolutely.
Shackleford says, glad everybody's happy and healthy. Now just on AJ Trade Watch.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I want to break that down a little bit for us.
Well, as everybody knows, I dabble in Philadelphia sports.
I dabble
as a fan, which is an understatement. It's my complete obsession. Pro wrestling, UFOs, Philly sports. Well, Philly sports than UFOs, but AJ Brown, wide receiver to Philadelphia Eagles, heavily believed to be traded June 2nd. For those who don't follow football, AJ Brown, wide receiver for Philadelphia Eagles, has had a great career in Philadelphia for whatever reason. Even though it's been to playoffs every year, been to 2 Super Bowls, won 1 Super Bowl, doesn't seem to be happy for whatever reason. Grew up a childhood fan of the New England Patriots, and it's believed that he will be traded to the New England Patriots. Howie Roseman, our GM of the Philadelphia Eagles, is a wizard, and the whole since the season ended, the whole talk is will AJ Brown be traded? And then it turns out it looks like he will be traded. And then you have this whole other side story of the Diana Rossini, Coach Vrabel having an affair storyline aspect, which if you read the tea leaves, you would believe there's some collusion there, because Diana Rossini has been the person pushing for the narrative of AJ's not happy in Philadelphia. He wants out of Philadelphia. He wants to be traded from Philadelphia, and he wants to go to New England. And then it turns out that she's been, having an affair with the coach of the New England Patriots, which leads you to believe that she purposely put these stories out there to devalue the trade aspect, the trade value of AJ Brown. Make it look, well, he just wants to be out of there anyway. So, the Eagles, who probably could get like a first or second round pick for him, might not be able to get a second round pick because of all these reports that were put out there by the woman who was sleeping with the coach of the team that AJ Brown wants to go to, which if I was the league, I would look at that and go and, somehow, punish, the Patriots for this, it's like market manipulation,
Right.
Where have we seen that? Just no, but and the reason why June 2nd is June 2nd is important is if the Eagles were to trade AJ Brown before June 1st, they would get a dead cap hit on their payroll of $40 million. But if they wait till June 2nd at 4 p.m., they would only get a dead cap hit of $16 million, which would affect their ability to pay their players. So June 2nd has been a date on the counter of many Philadelphia Eagles and New England Patriots fans to see, does AJ get traded? It's believed he'll get traded. But now you hear these stories of phantom teams coming sweeping in at the last second to maybe push for a trade for AJ Brown, because there's some teams that are going to also need wide receivers. I believe Patriots had this young quarterback in May. I think Drake May maybe is his name. It's early. I can't think this early. But the Rams might have a situation with Puka Nacua, who got in a little bit of trouble, who might have to be who might get suspended, who knows. And then there's the Kansas City Chiefs, who's wide receiver just had to go do some jail time, and for some kind of violation, a probation violation or something like that. But then there's also our buddies down in Jacksonville Jaguars might need a wide receiver as well. So hopefully Tony can do me a solid and take AJ just to stick it to the
Mass Sanity. Can you call in a favor for us, just real quick? If you don't mind.
Yeah, but yeah. So June 2nd, 4 p.m. There'll be a lot of Eagles fans tuned to their social media feeds. They were listening to their sports talk radio to see what happens with AJ. But he had a great run here. I remember the night he got traded here was during the draft. Had an amazing run here. I appreciate everything he did. But most wide receivers are considered divas. And I don't necessarily want to call him a diva, but when you've had such a a great career and success here in Philadelphia, it seems everything with AJ Brown's about personal stats, and it's a team sport, So I'd as much as it would be great to have team stats and personal stats. I'd rather have Super Bowls, and he's been to 2 with the Eagles, and the Patriots went to a Super Bowl last year, but who knows if they would have went to that Super Bowl had Denver's, quarterback been healthy, but who knows? It's all, what ifs. But June 2nd will be an interesting day in the Meanie household and the greater Philadelphia sports consuming society. So
Matt from Dover says the Patriots won't give up a first round for him, apparently, from what he's heard. Is there any accuracy to that?
I don't know. But the beauty is, the Eagles don't have to trade this guy. They don't have to trade him. They could trade him. And if I'm, after everything that's happened with him wanting to be traded, and then Diana Rossini using her influence to drive down his trade value to help the guy that she's having an affair with in that team, and then people go through social media and her article, everything she's written, and then you see all the bias she's had. Vrabel was the coach at Tennessee, for the Tennessee Titans too, and all the exclusives she's gotten, and it's just, oh man, it was right there, right in front of us. Just none of us saw it until this happened. But the Eagles won the first rounder, for next year, and I'm sure somebody's might be desperate enough to say, okay, yeah, here's a first rounder. And, the Eagles just, let them sit if they wanted to, it would suck to have that guy with that high of a payroll not playing on your roster, but
right.
When you hold all the cards, it's easier to not trade the guy than to trade him, if you're going to get something of value for him, but but a lot of people believe that AJ, is on the decline. He's had, knee problems, which, he's missed games for and stuff like that. But we shall see. We shall see.
Mass Sanity says here, personal stats in sports are nice, but they're lessened without a championship ring.
Yeah, and then after the Eagles won the Super Bowl, AJ was like, I thought it would be, I imagine how I thought it would feel, and I don't really feel anything. It's like, really? You just won the Super Bowl, and you're saying that it wasn't fulfilling, personally. It's like, my God.
Jesus.
Yeah,
That's certainly something people say.
yeah, just so
Christ.
weird. It's
Yeah.
so weird. But
Shackleford says, I love AJ and appreciate what he did for us. I just have a hard time with his lack of effort in the last game. You got to always hustle in Philadelphia. All we ask for is 100% effort.
Yeah, just sitting there with his boo-boo face,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, you could take that boo-boo face somewhere else if you really want to go. But Meanie, usually we start this a little bit later, but we got a lot of questions here for you. And, I'm sitting here thinking while we're chit-chatting, and I'm like, I wanted to ask you something.
Oh.
I can't remember what it is.
On a podcast? You want to ask me a question?
I want to ask you on a podcast into this microphone to you.
Inconceivable.
Inconceivable. Are you ready to ask Meanie?
I would love to. It's time to ask Meanie anything. Ask me something.
Don't forget to tweet us your questions using the hashtag AskMeanie or drop them in the chat here when you join us at patreon.com/mindofthemeanie. And you may hear them on the program. Meanie, what you sipping on today, brother?
We stopped by Aldi and got the Bellevue strawberry.
Ooh, there we go. I'm still on the hunt for that Bellevue pumpkin pie if anybody can find it. So I can also sure go for a Baby Ruth right now. But Baby Ruth right now I have the cheap shit from Aldi. Sophie had the other grapefruit that I was saving for the show. She loves that flavor, so I got to buy extra. But I have the cherry limeade today, which is also a solid number 2. So we're gonna crack these. Hope you're enjoying whatever you're sipping on wherever you're at today. We're gonna crack them. 3, 2, 1. Yeah.
There we go.
Pinkies up. Cheers, beers.
Yep.
Oh, that's good stuff. There she is.
Excellent.
All right, let's see what we got. We're going to actually start on a Twitter question. Carlo Carlson at Coke Zero, my favorite drink. Hey, Blue and Goob, I got an Ask Meanie for you. Blue, are you a tag team guy? And as a tag team guy, who do you like better, Arn Anderson or Bobby Eaton?
Oh, man, that's hard. Especially, they were great, foes, but they also were a great tag team as well. Man, that's rough. Because I'm sitting here thinking about, everything they've done, but I would have to go with Bobby Eaton. There's something about Bobby that, I drew myself to. Maybe it was the mullet. He had the mullet there, and part of one of the greatest tag teams in wrestling history. Survived a personnel change when Dennis Condrey left and Sweet Stan stepped in, and usually that's a rough thing when you got to replace a person in a tag team. Usually no one wants to hear the new whatever. At one point there was a new Midnight Express, right?
Yeah,
with two totally different guys, but Midnight Express, had to replace Dennis Condrey with, Stan Lane, and, still had just as much success. So I'm going to have to go Beautiful Bobby. I love Arn, though. I do love Arn. But, Arn had a lot of solo, success as well. Or Bobby did have some solo success with, holding the NWA television title. But as a tag team wrestler, I gotta give it to Beautiful Bobby.
I'm going to put this question up here, and I have a bit of a situation I got to handle downstairs with the kids real quick because Mrs. Goober is away. So I'm going to put this up and I'll let you game this out for a little bit, and I'll be back in about 30 seconds or less. Who has the best hair versus hair versus mask, or mask versus mask match that you've seen? For me, it's still Los Gringos Locos versus Octagon versus El Hijo del Santo from AAA When Worlds Collide. Meanie, what's your favorite?
Oh man, there is a lot to digest there. The Gringos Locos versus Octagon El Hijo del Santo. I mean, when the original When Worlds Collide pay-per-view was such a classic, because that was pretty much my introduction into lucha libre. But man, favorite hair versus hair, mask versus mask, or hair versus mask. It's hard to digest, especially watching last night with El Grande Americano versus OG El Grande Americano. That match was fantastic. I have to go, deep dive into my mind palace and try to think of which one would be the best one. But last night, it was pretty hard to beat. Just the emotion of it and the background of it. I'm talking about last night's match with OG El Grande Americano versus El Grande Americano.
Yep.
When you think of everything that went into that match and how, all because one person got injured, Chad Gable was shooting with Penta.
Yep.
And came out with this lucha gimmick, El Grande Americano. And, everybody knew it was him, basically. And then he gets injured, and then they have, Kaiser fill in the role, and Kaiser hits a home run with it. And, Chad comes back from injury. They have this feud, and then, everything that's going on in the background with, Kaiser and his lady friend, having an issue with somebody, and then the Mexican fans finding out that, not only did he get arrested, he got arrested for defending a woman.
Yeah.
A woman. That's huge in the culture down there, so, Kaiser's, been getting this, hero spot. Think about it. A German named El Grande Americano who can speak fluent
Spanish
is a folk hero in Mexico. And you just, if I said that sentence out loud, people are like, what? German with an American gimmick, pretending to be Mexican, speaking fluent Mexican in Mexico is over like a folk hero. Would be like, that's insane.
If I was Kaiser, I would not take that mask off again until I absolutely had to. I would just maintain that shit, that pop when El Grande Americano challenges Dom for the AAA title and Chad Gable comes out to help him win the title. That is going to be like that's going to hit the Richter scale, that pop down in Monterey. That's going to be fucking nuts.
Yeah. And yeah, I would say the Kaiser character is put him on the shelf forever. You're El Grande Americano, which is basically a Starbucks order. When you think about it, which is even funnier, just how much has gone into it. So, I mean, there's been a lot of great mask versus mask, hair versus masks. I remember, Gringos Locos, Art Bar and Eddie Guerrero, when they had to get their heads shaved and stuff like that. But I'm still coming off the high of last night, too. But I want to sound like that guy who just saw a great mask versus mask match and said, oh, that's the greatest one ever, because it's the most recent one. But
yeah.
And when you think of all the storyline behind the match and when it went into and how it people reacting. And I just, right before we came on the air here to, do the show, I rewatched the post-match speech, when, Chad Gable took off his mask. The fans start chanting Gable, and he started, giving his real name, where he was born and, what he does, and it's just, the fact that they were allowed to get double juice, was pretty astounding as well. Chad looked like he had a nice little knot on his head.
Mm-hmm.
Looked like he got hit, got a little think knot on his head there. But yeah, last night it was pretty hard to beat.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's other ones that might have been better, but this is the one I've understood the storyline from start to finish and was invested in it. We're at, McCusker's holding our calls, and I'm watching the pay-per-view on my phone. There's the Phillies on the TV, but I had the AAA show on my phone, and because I was that invested into it.
Mass Entities here is saying what everybody's thinking. Neither, wow, words. Yeah, he's writing what I can't say, apparently. Let me try it again. Neither El Grande Americano should have gotten over to the levels that they did. It's a testament to how great those two are. Absolutely. Yeah. You got to remember that whole gimmick started as a joke.
Yes.
It started as them mocking, I think it was Penta, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it was, the Gulf of America shit. And like, it was like, oh my God, it was like very MAGA coded. And you're like, oh, I don't really like this too much. And then like Gable is just so good at what he does. Yeah. Then he gets hurt. And then they throw Kaiser at this, which at first felt like kind of a death sentence. And you're like, wait a second, he's got something here. Yeah. And then the other two, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate get involved. And they're like, it's just unbelievable. Like, again, if Kaiser never does anything else in his career, this is going to be what his, like, I can't imagine that Ludwig Kaiser at any point in his career was like, oh, I'm going to be a luchador. Yeah, he probably had never thought about it. Right. And now he's this character and he's this character forever. Like, it's so good. And I love it so much. You can see how much it means to him when he is, they did the Serenata down there for him and he was emotional. And then they did something else for him and it was again. And it was like, man, this is just so good.
Yeah. And to think about, since WWE purchased AAA, this is their first homegrown talent in AAA. They created a luchador and it's gotten over and, doing amazing business.
Yeah. And shout out to The Undertaker too. He's been booking down there as well. I think he's the head booker or something like that. I don't know how much investment he had in this story, but
yeah,
whew, man. And then
so I was in the credits, as I was going off air, Paul Levesque, Lee Fitting, and Mark Calloway. So
crazy. And then Mass Sanity says, Adam, I just got chills thinking about that potential pop. We're talking like Mankind beats The Rock kind of pop.
Which I was there for that. Yeah.
Yeah. But Adam wants to know, I know we've talked about that before, but I fucking love hearing that story. Adam from Downingtown wants to know, how loud was that pop when Mankind won the title?
Oh, you could feel the concrete moving below your feet, the little buzz, when, the floor shaking, just from seismic activity of that pop, just so amazing. So amazing. And that led to, Mick winning winning the WWF title. Mm-hmm. And that night we went out to eat at a Chinese restaurant and then ended up being stuck without a hotel room and Mick invited me to stay in his room and we watched A Bronx Tale and it made it into Mick's book Fully Is Good, where he's like, I'm WWF champion. I have 5 pounds of Chinese food and a Blue Meanie in my bed.
For the uninitiated, that the pop came from, it was the corporation and it was DX on either side. Yeah. And Stone Cold comes out unexpectedly and the place goes fucking ballistic. Like it goes crazy. Stone Cold hits Rock in the head with a chair. He throws Mick over Rock and that's how he wins the belt. And it was just good Lord.
Yeah.
Mass Entity says the loudest pop I ever experienced was Zig Dolph Ziggler beating Alberto Del Rio for the world title the day after WrestleMania 29. That was a great fucking moment. Matt from Dover's got 2 questions for us here to round out the show today. Ask me, who's hotter right now, Danhausen or El Grande Americano? Oh. That's a tough one.
It is.
Jumping Jesus.
Going to call it a tie right now, but
yeah,
the slight edge to Danhausen,
Yeah.
Like if the Knicks win the NBA title, they have to give him a ring, right?
I think that has to be done.
They would have to give him a championship ring.
Yeah, they would have to. Yeah. I feel like that's only fair. But I think they're both over in their own ways, man. I think, like it's a different level of over. They're over in a country. Like Danhausen is fucking everywhere. And El Grande Americano was, what's that?
In a good way.
Oh yeah, absolutely, in the best way possible. And same thing with Americano. I mean, they're all over. So, And then one last question from him here. Will the blue Speedo come out on the Jericho cruise?
Highly unlikely. But my friend Albert has been on every Jericho cruise. Every year he sends me a photo of a guy dressed like the Blue Meanie on the cruise. Like half shirt, blue hair, everything. And it's going to be, kind of cool to be on that cruise and finally see the person in real life and maybe snap a photo together, But yeah, the blue Speedo will not be making its debut on the Jericho. I used to have a blue thong that I would wear when I was BlueDust, because the one time, Goldust got his, outfit ripped off and he had the lingerie underneath.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if there's ever a chance where somebody has to take, strip me down and I have a blue thong on, that'd be funny, right? And then, Mrs. Meanie moves in with me and she's going through the fucking drawer and she finds this blue thong. And she's like, whose thong is this? Right. And I was like, and then she sees the size of it and she's like, oh, it's yours.
I can only imagine that conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, it's
yours.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Mass Sanity says that Danhausen is #1 in merch sales in WWE. He has surpassed Cody Rhodes and CM Punk. It's just
God bless.
That is so dope, dude.
Yeah.
And the WWE's current European tour is being called the Danhausen Summer Vacation Tour. God, I love it so much. He's the fucking best, dude. So good. And you are also the best here as well, Blue Meanie. We want to thank you for answering everyone's questions, and we want to thank you for being a part of the show today and sending everything over. But actually, you know what? We haven't had any sounds yet today. Let me run a couple at you here. What in the?
This is a drizzling shit. That man is farting loudly.
Blue Meanie, very cursed.
So we want to thank you for being a part of the show. But Meanie,
oh yeah,
you know what time it is, baby. Where can everybody keep up to date with all things blue when they're not listening to the program?
If you would like to follow the Blue Meanie on all forms of social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at Blue Meanie BWO on all forms of social media. If you would like to support the Blue Meanie, go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Blue Meanie. If you would like to support Mind of the Meanie, go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Mind of the Meanie. Thank you to everybody who took part in the Blue Meanie birthday sale we had over there on the website. It was made a lot of human monies. So it did pretty good. So thank you very much. MadCatBeardCare.com. Get the Blue Spruce beard oil or balm. Shout out to Josh Thornton out there doing an amazing job rounding up the kitties, taking them to the vet, and sending them off better than he found them. So if you're a cat lover like myself, go over to MadCatBeardCare.com. The Ultra Pro Wrestling video game coming to all major consoles. Ultra Pro Wrestling contains not only original characters created by the amazing Hal Haney, but many real-world wrestlers, including myself and many others I'm trying not to spoil. Go to ultraprowrestling.com or follow them on Twitter at UPW Video Game. That's ultraprowrestling.com or follow them on Twitter at UPW Video Game. To have the Blue Meanie on your podcast, go to podstars.net. That's podstrz.net. Register your podcast, book the Blue Guy, and let's have a conversation over there at podstars.net. Cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO for birthdays, holidays, and well wishes. Please book through the site. Don't book through the app. The app takes way too much of your hard-earned money. Did a few over the past couple weeks. Always having a fun time. I just did one for a wedding coming up. So it's always fun to try to make somebody's day a little bit brighter. So go to cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO. But most importantly, Mr. Barnard, where can we find you, sir?
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Threads, and I also booted up Blue Sky again for the first time in quite some time. So I'm posting over there as well. But all of my handles are the same. It's at This Is Goober. Yes, it's my handle. No, I'm not changing it. It's a brand, pal. You can go check me out over at Foundation Media by going to Foundation and also youtube.com/@FoundationRadioPod. I'm waiting to give some announcements about any of the stuff we'll be doing at Tribeca coming up in the next 2 weeks. Just waiting to finalize some details there. Lots of other fun stuff coming down the pipeline as well that I'm not allowed to talk about. So you can go and check it out there. But also go check out my work at TheSportster and Give Me Sport. Lots of great things going on over at both sites, TheSportster.com and GiveMeSport.com. If you want to look as good as Meanie and I do, you can go and visit my barbershop, which is the 10th Ward Barbershop in downtown Lawrenceville in the outskirts of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Go and schedule your appointment today with Kane or the rest of the team at 10thwardbarbershop.com. Give a shout out to your barbershop, too. Which one do you usually hit over there in Philly?
I'm over there at Bud's Barbershop at 16th and Rittner.
Nice. My friends out here in Kennett Square, Esther and Andre over at Blue 52 Barbershop in Kennett Square. You can go get your appointment and get it nice and faded this way here. When you're out in Pittsburgh, go see Kane. Lots of fun stuff coming up for the Super Jersey Comic Expo on August 29th at the Iron Peak Sports and Events in Hillsborough, New Jersey. We have a Mallrats reunion. I got myself a copy of Mallrats on a Blu-ray. Where is it? Right here. I'm going to have the cast sign this while they're there. We have Jason Lee, Joey Lauren Adams, Ethan Suplee, and a lot of other folks coming, and some announcements as well. Some big announcements, Meanie, coming up this week for that one for some additional cast members. So wait and see. But smoochies, boochies, babies. ProWrestlingTees.com/Mind of the Meanie. Pick up a shirt and keep the lights on. The Casa de Meanie and the Barnard Home for Wayward and Troubled Youth. Don't forget to go to patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie. Tiers start at just 10 human monies. So you can sign up today and come and see us. And if you look above Meanie's head there at youtube.com/@Mind of the Meanie, you can go and check out the 3PW show Mayhem, and as well as our archive going all the way back to the year of our Lord Jesus Christ, 2022. And don't forget that the show socials are down here underneath us as well. We want to thank you for being here with us on this beautiful Sunday morning, or whatever day you're listening to us. You could choose to be anywhere in the world, and you are here with us right now, and we appreciate you. We will see you again next week, same bat time, same bat channel, meaning I appreciate you, and a pleasant Baba Booey to you for the rest of your day, sir. For the Blue Meanie, I am Adam Barnard. Join us again each and every week as we take a trip to the mind of the Meanie. Peace.
Blue World Order.
This episode of Mind of the Meanie is hosted and executively produced by the Blue Meanie and Adam Barnard. It was mixed and engineered by Carl Pinnell. Additional narration is provided by the executive voice, Sam Krebs. That's me. Our intro music was performed by the Swamp Candles. Our outro music was performed by Chikara. Additional musical accompaniment is performed by Enrichment. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter, or X or whatever, @Mind of the Meanie, and become part of the Pod Squad by going to patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie. Find our entire show archive at mindofthemeanie.com. This has been a Butts Carlton media production. Butts Carlton, proprietor.
Blue World Order.
That was Blue Meanie's brain out.